I watched from my corner office as Chen Enterprises stock plummeted on the morning news. My phone buzzed. Another frantic message from James. If only he knew his little sister now owned controlling shares in his precious company. Sometimes revenge takes patience. Olivia Spencer stood in her high-rise office, staring at the gold-embossed wedding invitation that had arrived that morning. Her brother Ethan was marrying Rebecca Lee, the daughter of a powerful industrialist family, and their wedding was being hailed as the social event of the year. The irony wasn't lost on Olivia. A decade ago, her family had ridiculed her for leaving medical school to launch a tech startup from her garage. They said she was throwing her life away, convinced she would come crawling back, but she never did. Instead, she poured every ounce of energy into building Vanguard Innovations, a company now valued at over $2 billion. Despite her success, her family remained oblivious, believing she worked a mid-level position in tech. The invitation was just another reminder of the years of dismissal, of being treated like the family failure while her brother's conventional career path was celebrated. Now, with her company secretly negotiating a critical deal with Rebecca's family business, Olivia held far more power than anyone realized. As her assistant reminded her of the board meeting, Olivia calmly placed the invitation aside. She had no intention of being underestimated any longer, especially not at an event that symbolized everything she had fought to overcome. The day of Ethan's wedding arrived under a cloudless sky, the venue adorned with extravagant florals and crystal chandeliers that screamed wealth and status. Olivia wore a sleek black designer dress, elegant and understated, far removed from the glitz flaunted by the elite guests. As she stepped into the church courtyard, her mother greeted her with a dismissive air kiss and a backhanded compliment, noting with surprise that she looked presentable. It was a familiar tone, one Olivia had endured her whole life, never quite enough, always on the outskirts. When she asked about her seat, her mother vaguely gestured, explaining that due to an overflow of distinguished guests from Rebecca's side, Olivia would have to sit elsewhere. That elsewhere turned out to be a table hastily arranged in the back, near the kitchen, where the staff ate. The humiliation wasn't new, but it burned deeper this time. At the reception, as Olivia stood searching for her name card among the main tables, Rebecca herself appeared, laced in mock sweetness, to inform her of the seating downgrade. Laughter tittered nearby, and Ethan, with a champagne glass in hand, joined in, reminding her she'd always known her place. That moment crystallized everything, years of being overlooked, patronized and cast aside. Olivia's smile didn't falter, but something in her had shifted. She wouldn't be invisible anymore. As Olivia stood in the grand ballroom, scanning the sea of white linen tables and elegant place cards, the weight of years of dismissal pressed in on her. There was no card bearing her name, no seat among the crowd, just silence and snide glances. Rebecca, now clad in her second gown of the day, approached with a sugary smile that barely masked her malice. She informed Olivia that a table had been set in the back, near the kitchen, where the help ate. The message was clear. You don't belong. Ethan, standing beside his new bride, chuckled and told Olivia not to make a scene. That familiar sting of being treated like a failure returned, the same sting she had felt when her family dismissed her dreams and belittled her ambition. But Olivia had built Atlas Technologies into a powerhouse without their approval. Calmly she pulled out her phone and made the call. Her voice never wavered as she instructed her assistant to cancel the semiconductor contract, Chen Industries' $50 million lifeline. She met her brother's eyes as his champagne glass shattered on the marble floor. Panic rippled through the room. The guests hushed. Olivia then revealed her true identity, the owner of the very company Chen Enterprises depended on. In that moment, years of being the family's afterthought fell away. Power had shifted, and everyone in that ballroom felt it. The shock that swept across the ballroom was almost tangible as Olivia revealed her identity. Guests, once murmuring over hors d'oeuvres and champagne, now stood frozen, eyes locked on the scene unfolding like a scandalous drama. Victoria's painted smile crumbled into disbelief, while Mr. Chen, once the picture of control, faltered under the weight of Olivia's revelation. She wasn't just the quiet sibling in the shadows. She was the strategic mind behind the acquisition of Chen Enterprises' debt and its vital suppliers. Her family's arrogance had blinded them to the empire she'd built right under their noses. Olivia detailed how Chen Enterprises was months away from collapse without the now cancelled contract. The financial lifeline James had boasted about was gone. Her brother's embezzlement, hidden until now, surfaced like oil in water. The whispers grew louder as wedding guests realized they were witnessing not just a failed celebration, but a public reckoning. Chen demanded security intervene, but Olivia calmly reminded him that Atlas now held their loans. Removing her would only accelerate their downfall. In that instant, the control shifted. Olivia stood tall in her understated black dress, once mocked by her mother, now a symbol of quiet power. She had not come for revenge, but she wasn't leaving without reclaiming her worth. James stood frozen, his desperate plea hanging in the air as Olivia turned away, unmoved by his sudden humility. Years of exclusion, ridicule, and dismissal had built a wall too high to scale with last-minute apologies. Her mother's attempt to smooth things over only exposed the deep cracks in their family's foundation. They had chased image and prestige, never once looking beyond the surface to see her strength. Now, they were begging for mercy from the daughter they once ignored. Olivia's voice was steady, as she reminded them of the time she needed support, when she was dismissed for dreaming too big and denied help when starting her company. The irony was unmistakable. The family who once mocked her ambition now relied on it for survival. She revealed how Atlas owned not only the cancelled contract, but James's gambling debts and the auditing firm that uncovered every hidden dollar he'd stolen. Victoria, humiliated, turned on James as their perfect wedding unraveled. Guests documented every second on their phones, witnessing a dramatic power shift in real time. Mr. Chen, red with fury, threatened to eject Olivia, but she calmly reminded him that doing so could collapse his fragile empire. Her composure amid the chaos cemented her as the one in control. What began as a wedding had become a reckoning, one that no one would forget. As Mr. Chen barked for security to remove Olivia and her family from the venue, the true balance of power became clear. She stood firm, calmly reminding him that Atlas Industries now owned the majority of Chen Enterprises' outstanding loans. If pushed, she could call them in at once, collapsing the already fragile company overnight. The guards hesitated, uncertain who they were meant to obey. Olivia, the woman holding their employer's financial future, or the man whose authority was rapidly crumbling. Mr. Chen's bluster turned into desperation, asking Olivia what she wanted. But she didn't come to bargain, she had already won. With quiet confidence, she reminded them she had everything she needed: a thriving tech empire, the respect they had always withheld, and the power to decide their fate. James, panic-stricken, tried to negotiate, offering her a position in the family company, even a partnership, but Olivia revealed she already owned enough interest to take control by the following week. Her brothers and Mr. Chen's recklessness had handed her the company on a silver platter. Victoria collapsed into a chair, her dream wedding reduced to a public nightmare. With her parting words, Olivia echoed Victoria's earlier insult, pointing out the kitchen staff's table, now a fitting seat for those who once tried to diminish her worth. As Olivia turned to leave the wedding-turned-battleground, her mother made one last desperate attempt to salvage their dignity and plead for family unity. But Olivia had already endured years of being treated like an outsider, dismissed, criticized, and belittled for not fitting the mold of their narrow expectations. Her quiet refusal wasn't laced with anger, but with resolute clarity. She reminded them that their version of family only valued appearances, social status, and tradition, not perseverance, innovation, or independence. Olivia's success was never on their terms, and that's what made it powerful. As she walked away, chaos erupted behind her, guests murmuring, phones recording, Victoria crying into her ruined wedding dress, and Mr. Chen barking orders in vain. Outside, her modest Tesla waited, a reflection of the kind of leader she was: practical, grounded, and focused on real achievement. Her head of security opened the door, calling her Miss Porter, a title she had earned, not inherited. With the composure of a woman who had nothing left to prove, Olivia told him they had work to do. In a world obsessed with legacy and flash, she had rewritten the rules. She didn't seek revenge, she simply let the truth speak for itself, louder than any toast, richer than any inheritance, and sharper than any insult, whispered behind a crystal flute. In the weeks following the wedding fallout, Olivia focused entirely on steering Atlas Industries through its most pivotal acquisition yet. As Chen Enterprises crumbled under public scrutiny and financial collapse, Olivia moved with surgical precision, retaining valuable talent, eliminating corrupt leadership, and absorbing the assets that once seemed untouchable. Her rise wasn't a victory lap. It was the culmination of a decade spent building quietly, while enduring being overlooked by her own family. James's embezzlement scandal made headlines, and Victoria, unwilling to tie herself to a sinking empire, filed for annulment. Olivia's parents, previously indifferent to her accomplishments, now bombarded her with voicemails that swung wildly between anger and desperation. She listened to none of them. Her focus remained on what she had always done best, creating value and leading with integrity. Under her leadership, Atlas transformed Chen Enterprises from a struggling legacy firm into a streamlined tech powerhouse. She reinstated trust and transparency, starting by reassigning James's former department and implementing internal audits. Olivia didn't gloat. She didn't make media statements or seek praise. She simply let the results speak for themselves. Her strategy wasn't about destroying what others had built, it was about refining it. What the world had witnessed at the wedding was only a glimpse of her strength. In truth, the real transformation happened after the chaos, where leadership, resilience, and vision came together to create something far greater than revenge. Legacy. 3 months after the wedding debacle, Olivia sat in her high-rise office, reviewing Atlas Industries' soaring quarterly performance. The once fractured Chen Enterprises had been dismantled and rebuilt under her guidance, with new leadership and ethical practices at its core. Her transformation from the forgotten sibling to a tech titan wasn't just business, it was personal redemption. When her assistant announced an unexpected visitor, Olivia didn't flinch. Her mother entered, visibly older and humbled, no longer cloaked in social superiority, but burdened by regret. The conversation was strained yet revealing. Her mother, once the embodiment of disapproval, now sought reconciliation. But Olivia's success didn't need validation. Her mother's apology, though sincere, came too late to repair the years of dismissal and condescension. Still, Olivia didn't slam the door shut. Instead, she offered something far more meaningful than forgiveness: opportunity. She handed her mother a business starter package, a chance to rebuild with integrity, just as Olivia had done from her garage 10 years prior. There were no shortcuts offered, no family favors extended. Olivia made it clear, if they wanted to rise again, it would be through effort and grit, not by exploiting her name. The kitchen table, once symbolic of humiliation, had become a place of reckoning. And now, with the power dynamic reversed, Olivia stood as a reminder that true strength comes not from vengeance, but from growth and discipline. As Olivia watched her mother exit the office, clutching the opportunity folder like a lifeline, she returned to her desk with quiet resolve. The chaos of the past year, the public takedown at her brother's wedding, the media storm surrounding Chen Enterprises, and the shocking family revelations had all settled into a powerful lesson. Appearances mean nothing compared to what you actually build. While James struggled in a junior analyst role, and their parents humbly operated a modest boutique funded through Atlas's small business loan program, Olivia never lost sight of where it all began. Her old garage workbench, now preserved in her office, served as a daily reminder of the grit, sacrifice, and vision that shaped her empire. It symbolized not only her journey, but the values she refused to abandon, even when handed power on a silver platter. Olivia didn't measure success by wealth or society's validation, but by resilience, independence, and the ability to offer others a chance without enabling their entitlement. Atlas Industries thrived under her leadership, gaining respect not only for innovation but for ethics. And in a world quick to judge success by labels and appearances, Olivia proved that real achievement lies in character. The same kitchen table where she was once cast aside became the metaphorical seat of power she now owned, and through it all, she chose integrity over revenge and growth over grudges. This story delivers powerful lessons about resilience, self-worth, and the silent strength of perseverance. Olivia was underestimated, dismissed, and excluded by her own family simply because her success didn't fit their narrow expectations. Yet she never gave up. She built her empire quietly, with hard work and vision, proving that true success doesn't need applause, it just needs purpose. Her choice to confront the injustice at her brother's wedding wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming dignity and showing that real power lies in authenticity and integrity. In a world obsessed with status and surface-level success, this tale reminds us that what you build with determination and principle can outshine any flashy title or family name. If this story inspired you or made you reflect on your own journey, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel for more empowering stories, and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever been underestimated or overlooked, only to rise stronger than ever? Your story might inspire someone else too.